I was already running late when I got to the cafe. I'd barely slept the night before. I kept rehearsing answers to interview questions, practicing my smile, trying to convince myself I belonged in that downtown office tower where people wore expensive shoes and carried real leather briefcases. It was my third interview this month. The other two hadn't gone well. One of them ended with, "We'll keep your resume on file," which I'm pretty sure is professional speak for, "Don't call us, we won't call you." But this one felt different. This one mattered. I had borrowed my roommate's flat iron, pulled my hair into something halfway professional, and slipped into the only real business piece I owned. A pale pink blazer I'd found at a thrift store, barely used, and tailored just enough to make me feel like someone who belonged in a boardroom. I ordered a coffee to go, then stepped outside and took a deep breath. And then I turned around too fast. A man coming in bumped me by accident. The lid popped off. Hot coffee splashed across the front of my blazer, like a coffee-stained abstract painting. My mouth dropped open. My hand went instinctively to the lapel. Warm, damp, stained. I blinked back, panic. The interview was in 30 minutes. Without thinking, I bolted across the street to the dry cleaners. The lights were off, and a paper sign said they wouldn't open for another hour. I stared at it for a long time, willing the universe to just give me a break. Then I sat on the curb, defeated. It wasn't just the blazer. It was everything, months of rejection emails, bills I couldn't quite pay, and this creeping fear that maybe I wasn't cut out for the career I'd worked so hard to start. I felt the tears rise before I could stop them. One blink, and they spilled over. I buried my face in my hands. "Spilled coffee?" The voice startled me. I looked up to see a woman, early 30s, elegant, confident. She held a reusable cup and a small tote bag, her dark hair pulled back in a smooth twist. "Yeah," I mumbled. "My interview is in 25 minutes. Without hesitation, she slipped off her navy blazer and held it out. "Here," she said. "Try this on. I think we're close in size." What? "You don't have time to argue," she said gently. "Just wear it. Return it to the cafe across the street by Friday. I'm in most mornings." I hesitated, stunned. She smiled, steady, confident. "You've got this. Go." Then she turned and walked off like it was nothing, like she hadn't just saved me from a full-on breakdown. The blazer fit better than I expected. It was soft and structured, like something meant for someone important, with faint pinstripes and a scent I couldn't place. Citrus and lavender, maybe. I made it to the building with 3 minutes to spare and rode the elevator to the 12th floor with my heart hammering like it was trying to escape. The receptionist gave me a reassuring nod. "Nice jacket," she said, very sharp. In the interview, Mr. Hawthorne shook my hand and motioned to the seat across from him. "That's a strong look," he said, glancing at the blazer. "Excellent color for you." Somewhere in the middle of talking about my volunteer work, my interest in employment law, and how I'd graduated top of my class, while waitressing nights, I felt something click. It was like I was allowed to be there. I didn't have to fake confidence. For once, I actually felt it. On Thursday, I returned to the cafe. I had the blazer dry cleaned and carefully folded, and I slipped a small thank you card into the pocket before placing it on the counter. The barista looked at it, then at me. "The woman who gave this to me told me to return it here," I said. "She said you'd know." He smiled like this wasn't the first time. "Coffee stain emergency?" I blinked. "Yeah, how did you—" "She's done it before," he said, wiping the counter. "Umbrella in a rainstorm, scarf in a snowstorm. She even gave someone her shoes once when theirs broke on the way to a scholarship panel." I shook my head. "You're kidding." He grinned. "We call her the guardian angel of Main Street. She doesn't leave a name, but she shows up when people need something." I stared at the blazer. It looked ordinary again, just a navy pinstripe with no magic in it. But it had been magic for me. I went back a week later, not expecting to see her, but I sat by the window with a tea and waited a while anyway. Just in case. I'd brought something with me, A new scarf, soft and charcoal gray. I left it with the barista, wrapped with a tag that said, "For the next coffee-stained soul in need of a miracle." As I stepped out of the cafe, my phone rang. It was Mr. Hawthorne. "I hope you haven't accepted another offer," he said, his voice as calm and precise as always. "Because we'd like to bring you on." I stopped walking. "No," I said. "I mean, yes, I'd love to." "Thank you, good," he replied. "You'll be a strong addition. If you're available, your first day will be Monday. We'll send the details by email." I ended the call and just stood there a moment, soaking it in. I glanced back at the cafe. The windows reflected the morning sun. Inside, a girl in jeans spilled her drink and laughed. The barista reached under the counter and pulled out the scarf. I smiled. Maybe someday I'll do more than just pass it on. Maybe someday I'll be someone's miracle too. Sometimes, kindness comes in pinstripes and lavender. A small act, a shared moment. It can change everything.
Original heartwarming fiction every week. Subscribe for your next great story.